Hello, everyone. Welcome to this month's release of our Cloud Sherpas adoption kits. We will get started here in about 1 minute, so please just bear with us. Thank you. Okay, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks everyone for joining. My name is Doug Boris. I'm the Vice President of Cloud Management here at Cloud Sherpas. And I'm very excited to be joined by Emmeline Hunter, who is one of our senior change practitioners here at Cloud Sherpas. And as most of you are aware, every other month we release a new adoption kit, which is intended to be just that, a kit that focuses on a specific topic or service within Google Apps, and allow you to take that kit and make it your own, rebrand it, and roll it out to your users to train them on a specific area of Google Apps. So we've done Google Drive, we've done Docs, we've done Hangouts, and now this month we are going to do Sites. If you haven't used Sites, or you have and are looking to expand the use of it within your organization, encourage you to go ahead and visit keepingupinthecloud.com, and you'll notice in the top bar there is a link to adoption kits, and we have just posted the latest one for Sites today, so it is available for you to take advantage of. So with that, I'm going to turn it over to Emmeline and ask her to go ahead and run through a brief presentation that outlines what's included in the kit, how to roll it out, what all the assets are, and where you can get them. So thanks a lot. And with that, I'm going to hand it over to Emmeline.
Great. Thank you, Doug, for the introduction, and welcome everyone to this month's release. We're just going to be going through a quick agenda that will tell you kind of what we're talking about today as we roll out our new Sites adoption kit. We'll start with a quick introduction. For those of you that are not familiar with these types of sessions or maybe haven't seen these adoption kits, we're going to go over the importance of ongoing adoption, how we can help by actually creating these kits for you and releasing them out, and then kick it off with actually reviewing what's included in the Sites adoption kit for this month. We also have some extra tips on how you as an organization can help ensure that your company is continuing to adopt all of the great features that you have with your Google Apps. All right, so that being said, let's talk about why ongoing adoption is important. So going more Google, this notion of going more Google. Typically, this aligns with why you chose to go with Google Apps in the first place. Most deployments, we're really focusing on messaging with the deployment right up front, making sure that everyone is rolling out mail, calendar, contacts, and chat very smoothly so we're not losing any productivity. And a lot of our collaboration tools like Drive and Sites, they're more on the back burner because that's not the main focus, right? We're not replacing those tools. We're replacing mail and calendar, and that's why the focus is there. But it's really important to take advantage of all that Google has to offer, right? This is not just a messaging platform. This is really a collaboration platform. So how can you use these new tools outside of mail and calendar for your organization? So again, it really likely aligns with the reason why you chose Google Apps to begin with, because it was so much more than just your mail and your calendar platform switching over. All right, so we want to make sure that we're regaining momentum of the original deployment. There was a lot of work that went into the original deployment to get you over to Gmail and Google Calendar in the first place. But this is an opportunity for leadership to help drive adoption further by introducing these new tools or enforcing these new tools or showing these fun ways to start using these new tools that might not have been emphasized during the original deployment. It's also an opportunity for those of you that did utilize a Google Guide program throughout your deployment to re-engage your Google Guides as experts, right? So they can be a really great change champion or training aids, just like they were for your original deployment. They can really be re-engaged and looked to as experts for now this focus on our collaboration tools like Google Sites, right? And ultimately, we're doing this to transform the way your organization works. We went to Google Apps for better collaboration, to increase our efficiency and become more effective. And these tools that we're introducing now are a part of that. So we want to focus on these more collaboration tools so that you can ultimately really gain all of the benefits of the reason you moved to Google Apps in the first place. All right, so how can Cloud Sherpas help? And this is really just an introduction to our adoption kits if you're not familiar with them. So this is really what is an adoption kit. It's a full training and change management kit that we create every 2 months for your training teams to repackage and help end users improve their knowledge and usage of Google Apps. So what is this? As Doug mentioned, we've already released this month's adoption kit on keeping up in the cloud. Everything that we include in our adoption kits are very easy to rebrand and present as your own customized solution for end user adoption. So this month, we're focusing on sites, but we're rotating our subjects every 2 months to really allow you to easily promote that ongoing adoption of the different tools. So we focused on Drive at first, now we're going into sites, and we're really keeping up with the different tools that you have, so you have these packages to help you really fully adopt the entire suite. It's going to provide you the ability to track adoption and show success over time too. So these are really great stories that we can tell our management perhaps, or our companies overall, if we're showing that we're continuing to roll out these adoption kits and really leverage the tools that were purchased in the first place. So what do the kits include? What are they? We include a rollout timeline, so it's going to tell you the activities that you need to be focusing on for each week of this new adoption rollout. It includes a recorded webinar that you can use as training. We have communication templates and getting started guides. That's a part of our training, is a getting started guide to really get folks up and running on the new tool that we're introducing or the new function that we're introducing very quickly. We have posters for marketing and to make everyone excited about this new rollout. We have handouts, and then we have tips and tricks. Okay, so this month, of course, for our March and April 2015 adoption kit is how to organize your team information using Google Sites. All right, so why are Google Sites important? What are Google Sites? So Google Sites makes it possible for anyone to create a website where multiple people can collaborate, and it's very seamlessly integrated with all of your other tools that you have in Google Apps. So we can insert content from Drive, we can integrate Google Groups into message boards on these sites, we can integrate team calendars or any type of secondary calendars that you have that you're working with within your teams within Google Calendar. And it also has hooks into all of our other Google Apps. So it's really a way to seamlessly package all of our Google Apps together within one interface. Now, a Google site is a really easy to use interface. I create Google sites all of the time, and I am by no means a web designer. I have no coding abilities, yet I'm able to easily create a Google site. So very user-friendly, customizable, so you can go in and you can really highly customize your Google sites to make them work for what you need. There are templates that are available, so that makes it even easier if you're creating a project site for a new project that your team is working on. We have templates for that within Google Sites. So it's easy to pick through some of the templates that are already created for you to give you a good start. So again, you do not need to be a web designer or have any website building knowledge. And you can collaboratively build a site. So this is a great thing to do as a team as you're rolling out a new project or you're creating a site for the first time for your team. Not only one person needs to be the one that's creating this site. You can easily assign ownership, just like you can in Drive, for people to either be able to view a site or actually edit a site. Right? So you can share those responsibilities within your team. Maybe you have someone that's really great at creating content and someone that's really great at creating, the outline and the formatting of the site, so you can do that collaboratively. Right? And we're also easily integrating and embedding our Google Docs. Maybe that's something like an agenda that you have for each of your project status meetings, or maybe that's an ongoing list of action items. So we can embed Google Docs, Google Sheets, slides and images, your videos. So if you have a site, you can easily include your videos. So things that we do here at Cloud Sherpas is when we create sites, we will actually load the recorded training webinars that we have to those. So it's an easy way for all of your users to be able to access that content. Right? There's also some advanced features that are included in sites. So you don't have to be tech savvy to use sites, but if you are, there are advanced features that you can use to jazz it up even more. Right? So how does the adoption kit work? So we have a suggested schedule. On week 1, this is where we're building awareness and excitement, and this is why we provide the poster. So you'll see to the right-hand side of the screen, there is this image right here. This is actually your adoption kit that you see right there, and it's broken down by activities per week and the content that we're providing and the collateral that we're providing within the adoption kit that will go out that week or that will be relevant for that week in this schedule. Right, so this really aligns, for those of you that were close to the deployment that was originally done at your organization, this aligns to how we typically run our change management work stream. So we're wanting to build awareness around the organization and make everyone excited about what's coming or what you're going to be focusing on with Google Sites. Week 2 and week 3, this is where we're communicating very clearly with the organization. Right, so we're using some of the communication templates that we've provided in the adoption kit. We're also using leadership to help send the messages and identify teams and departments that can start leveraging Google Sites. So we always find that if this is really something that's clearly communicated, then users understand what's happening and what the timeline is and what's expected of them. But if we use our leadership to help enforce this, it's going to help drive adoption of Google Sites as well. Now, week 4, this is when we're providing training. So we already have these tools deployed for you, but this is really emphasizing now using the tools. We're providing webinars, right? So you can have the webinar deployed during week 4 so users can listen to the recorded webinar and really pick up on some of the things that they might not already know if they're not using Google Sites. There's also handouts for them. So for those folks that aren't going to sit through a webinar right away, there's easy handouts that they can use so they can quickly get up to speed on how we use Google Sites and why we might want to use Google Sites. Now, week 5 is when we launch Google Sites. So this is our official launch and when we're starting to promote the use of Google Sites starting on week 5. So during week 5 is when we're providing a getting started guide. It's really a step-by-step how you get started using Google Sites, right? So it's going to be a very easy guide for users to start launching sites, why they might be creating a site in the first place. Now, weeks 6 through 8 is when we're continuing to foster adoption. Right? So we don't want to become quiet after weeks 2 and 3 with our communications and week 4 with training, week 5 with the Getting Started Guide. We want to continue reaching out to this group of users or to the entire organization. Things like tips and tricks. Hey, now that you're on Google Sites and you've got some of the getting started pieces down, maybe you've created your first site, here are some additional tips and tricks to make this site even better or to help you use sites even further. Okay, so that is the typical suggested timeline, and that really aligns with the adoption kit. You're going to see all of the collateral and instructions for each of those weeks included in the adoption kit. All right, now just a few extra tips on how we can help monitor adoption of Google Apps. Right, so what else can you be doing as a project team or as this person in your organization that's really helped driving the adoption of Google Sites? So I think the most important thing is to understand why the change is important. So how Sites is really going to help your organization move forward and collaborate and be more efficient. So start simple. Really the best way is to encourage the use of Google Sites with very simple use cases that really apply to your organization. So maybe that's a team site like I mentioned. For teams that are already existing, you can create a site that would have a team calendar on it, that would have team documents, so you can embed a repository that maybe you're already using in Google Drive, but now you can have an easy way to access your calendar, your action items, trackers, all of your document repositories. You can create a project site. So let's say you have a brand new project that's rolling out soon. Well, why don't we organize ourselves as a project team within this project site? So we can have all of our templates that we're expected to use for this new project. We can have project timelines included. We can have all of the information that would tend to be scattered around in different areas. We can organize that all together for a project site. Onboarding sites are another great way to create sites. So if you have an onboarding, maybe your HR onboarding process could really benefit from a site that has everything grouped together that any new hire is going to need to have access to. And training sites, all right? So we've tried to kind of give you some examples that really apply to most organizations. The training sites could have, like we said, training documentation, as well as recorded webinars if that's something that you have. All right? You can monitor usage of sites from your admin control panel. So if you're wanting a way to further look into if the adoption is really happening, how many sites are being created, you can monitor that from the admin control panel. Another thing that I think is very important is to have fun with it and to get creative. So we're telling users, some great ideas about what they can use sites for. We're giving them training. We're communicating to them and getting excited. But let's have fun with it as well. That's always going to get users more excited about using these new tools. So we can encourage executives to start using them to have more of a trickle-down effect. If your executives are starting to use Google Sites, right, and they're incorporating that into their team meetings or executive board meetings, and then those users are going and using that with their teams, and we really see that trickles down. It also shows that there's buy-in from all the way at the top of the organization, and that's going to encourage users to also use those same tools. We've seen contests be a really great and fun way to start using new tools. So maybe you can have a contest for best use of a Google site, and it could be, maybe there could be a raffle associated or a prize associated to this contest that you're rolling out as an organization. Or you can create an incentive to move departments to use Google Sites instead of sharing information. All right, so there's a couple different ways that we've suggested that you can make these rollouts or adoption initiatives more fun, but be creative within your own teams as well. Maybe you've done something in the past that's really worked to get people on board and get people excited about using a new tool. You can leverage your leadership and or your Google Guide. So we mentioned that your Google Guide network, if you already have one set up, why not go back out to those users? They were excited about going Google in the first place. Maybe they've already played around with some of these tools, and they're excited to be able to help again and get all of their peers on board with using Google Sites. Now, you can also partner with us at Cloud Sherpas. We have a business transformation team and, of course, the change management team where I am from. We can always help you build strategies to gauge readiness and to monitor and measure adoption. We've done a lot of work with use case analysis where we really sit down with you and understand what you're doing today and how we can make those processes more efficient or more collaborative using the Google tools, including Google Sites going forward. Right? We have Google for Work deployment guaranteed to achieve adoption. And then we, of course, have custom and ongoing training. So you can always reach out to us if you have additional training needs besides these recorded webinars that we're providing for you that you find would be really beneficial to the ongoing adoption of Google Sites. Okay, so folks, that's your March and April adoption kit. So just a few next steps. So what now? So you can access your kit on Keeping Up in the Cloud, like Doug mentioned. So really start off by speaking to the business about your plan. So you can involve your leadership as much as possible, involve your Google Guides as much as possible when you're rolling out this new adoption kit. Follow the schedule that we've provided. You have all of the content and collateral that you need there. Make sure you're having fun with this. Right? So Google Sites can be fun. It's going to be a great way to increase your productivity within your organization. And then see you in May for Keep Your Coworkers Informed with Google+.
Okay, thanks so much, Emmeline.
No.
We certainly appreciate you doing that. If there are any questions, please feel free to enter them into the Q&A app that are here, or you can always send a follow-up to cloudmanagement@cloudsherpas.com or support@cloudsherpas.com. They both work. So certainly appreciate you taking the time here. We will link to a copy of this presentation as well as this a recording of this on Hangouts or on YouTube, sorry, and place that out on Keeping Up in the Cloud. So again, this is all on keepingupinthecloud.com. Under adoption kits, you can see the latest and greatest. So thanks again, Emmeline. Thanks everybody for joining, and we look forward to talking to you again soon. Thanks.
Thanks, Doug. Thanks, everyone.
Bye.